So, dear Dharma friends, we are here for a little bit of time together, particularly to look at how our Dharma study and practice can help us to feel stable inside in a world full of turbulence. And if we are able to manifest a calm presence in the world, that can perhaps help other people to hold back from a kind of upset reactivity. Our basic orientation is towards the whole. We think, may all sentient beings be happy. Means all sentient beings without any difference according to their qualities as we perceive them. That is to say, as far as possible, we have to have a position which is not located anywhere. So in the Mahayana tradition, the definition of nirvana or liberation is the nirvana or peace which does not rest anywhere. As soon as you take up a position anywhere, you have something in front of you, something behind you, on the left and the right, and so on. If you have a definitive positioning, then you will have, you will experience the factors in the field, all else which is occurring, as influencing how safe you are in your position. This is me. I am here. I like the people who make it easy for me to feel safe here where I am. And I'm anxious and fearful about the people who don't want me to be safely here. It is our ego self, our sense of being someone, somewhere, which is pulled into friends and enemies. Now, clearly, when we look around the world, we see many different items, different kinds of trees, bushes, motor cars, people. And according to our history and our likes and dislikes, we have preferences. We like some forms more than others. And that very easily tricks us into imagining that the things that we like have more inherent value than the things we don't like. So we want to protect what we have and get rid of what we don't like, what might be undermining what we have. We don't have to be very dogmatic or bigoted or prejudiced for this to arise. It's the simple structural issue that as long as I am this person, some things will resonate with me more than others. Some people never wear red clothes. Other people like to wear red clothes all the time. In that way, the world is invested with meanings which seem to be out there, inherent in the different objects we encounter. These people make me feel safe. They are my friends. These people make me feel unsafe. They are my enemies. Now, of course, when we remember the Dharma that many of you have studied for many years, we realize that this strong sense of being a separate ego entity is false. It has no basis in the actual. I believe that I am living in this world, which is outside me. But in fact, I'm living in my world. I'm living in the world which arises to me already coming into formation with my beliefs, desires, hatreds, and prejudices. Although modern science is striving to find a kind of objective truth for different situations, a truth which can be proven again and again by repeating the experiment, the frame within which this scientific research is going on is not free of subjectivity. Governments fund a great deal of research. And now we see that drones are becoming an important part of warfare. We have to make drones because the tanks that we built before are vulnerable to attack by drones which cost 1,000th of the price of the tank. Because the governments feel fear of war in the future, the research is directed towards defense rather than the development of new levels of antibiotics, for example. As long as myself, my body, seems to be irreducibly different from all the other beings in the world, their bodies, their likes, their dislikes, as long as this difference seems fundamental and definitive, then I will always have a biased or prejudiced view. Oh, we are lucky because there are many kinds of information we can get on the internet which are very annoying and upsetting. Well, I might believe that I am a very balanced person, and I truly believe may all beings be happy. But when I hear something from these news feeds which I disagree with, then the thought arises very easily, these people are idiots. And I'm not so happy with them. May they be happy, but please don't have them happy as idiots. I'd like them to be less idiotic and then have more happiness. Because we seem to have some presidents of very big, powerful countries who are clearly idiots. And because they are powerful, everyone around is pretending that they are normal and rational when they are clearly not at all balanced. If I criticize the crazy boss, I'm going to lose my job. So I want my job, I want my money, my boss is great. We have to observe ourselves and observe the compromises we make in order to maintain the continuity of our ordinary sense of self. If we keep noticing limitations in our position, then we have a lot to do. I have to correct myself, improve myself, change myself. But each new situation that arises somehow stirs this pond of myself so that old karmic tendencies rise to the top like old leaves. Then we see, there is no end to this work. There is no end to samsara. Or at least there is no end to samsara for those who remain embedded in a dualistic view of the world. So normally we say 1, 2, 3, 4. I am one. In fact, perhaps I am number one. Oh, that's nice. But what about you? You're number 2. One comes first. So as long as you know that you are number two, that's okay. So in that way, I, as number one, I am the subject. And you, as number two, are the object. Let me tell you who you are. Don't worry, don't worry. I'm a nice guy. I will tell you the truth. You have some work to do before you get to my stage. This is very common in duality because there is me, just one person, and all these other human beings, and cows, and cats, and dogs. Where do I stand in relation to them? I don't want them on top of me. I think I should be on top of them. I start with me. I pull in my friends, and I push out my enemies. All the great dictators alive in the world at this moment do exactly that. This is a complex structure. Duality is delusion. Non-duality is illusion. We have appearances, which looks like something real. This car is blue, that car is red. They are not the same, although they are the same make of car. The color is on the outside of the car. Inside the seats, the engine are the same, but I want the red car. As if the redness of the car was its most important feature. I like this person because I like the shape of their body or the tone of their voice. So when there is self and other, we try to maintain the position of the subject, the one who speaks, who defines, who names. And as far as possible, we want to avoid being the object, the one who is named and defined by someone else. Oh, within duality, power becomes very, very important. We have this familiar list of the 8 worldly concerns: gain and loss, pain and pleasure, being successful, not being successful. If it's one thing, it's not the other. It's either this or that. But when we start to see that there is an absence of inherent defining truth in any appearance, that our definitions of what is there are put by us onto the world. And so, according to the language we speak, the amount of education we've had, and so on, we will name things in different ways. And if we have enough power inside duality, then we can see that those who disagree with us are in the wrong, because I speak the truth. And if you disagree with me, you speak lies. Because truth, if we express it powerfully, seems to be different from an opinion. We see this, that there are many places in the world where minorities are seen as troublemakers, that the totalizing totalitarian government wants to establish the normal. So that could be being a white person, having a white or pink skin is normal. And therefore, brown skin or black skin is not normal. These are the definitions of power. There's nothing inherently superior in the color of anyone's skin. But power allows us to use any of these manifest criteria as a basis for a final judgment. If you support me, you are a good person. If you're against me, you're a terrorist. And we can arrest you, put you in a dark prison, torture you. No one will know where you are. This happens in many, many countries because I, the subject, define the object. Now, when we apply our Dharma understanding to this, we can see the foolishness of this dualistic position. Say, we go back to our dear friend, the Heart Sutra. Form is emptiness, emptiness is form. Then we say pink skin is emptiness, emptiness is pink skin. Brown skin is emptiness, emptiness is brown skin. Black skin is emptiness, emptiness is black skin. Emptiness is the clear essence of everything revealed through an awareness which is free of the division of subject and object. In the periods of slavery and extreme racism, white people, the slavers, insisted that white people were inherently superior to black people. And on the basis of this belief, they created a false hierarchy based on skin color. Any quality could be made the basis for hierarchical differentiation. Maybe you like people with small feet. You see their small feet in some nice shoes. Oh, small feet are better than big feet. I think from today, all people with small feet should get a gift from the government of 10,000 euros. For too long, we have lived in the confusion that big feet and small feet are the same. Now we have wakened up. Now we are enlightened. Small feet are good, big feet are bad. This is called relative truth or conventional truth. It is a false statement which appears to be true because we believe in it. And the power of belief is very strong. I believe it is true, therefore it is true. It's much easier to see the false beliefs of other people than to examine our own beliefs and see whether they are actually true or false. For us, as people who would like to follow the Buddha's path, it's very important to get to know our own prejudice. Some of our prejudice is very difficult to recognize because it's established in our language, in our culture. We learned about it by hearing our parents talking, hearing the teachers talking at school. We believe it. Many people in Britain believe that so-called Great Britain is superior to the other countries in Europe. That's why we had to leave Europe, to avoid contamination by these inferior people. And now we have this separation. We realize the European countries have become stronger in their economies, and our dear Great Britain becomes weaker and we become poorer. But we didn't make a mistake. Better our noble poverty, the dignity of poverty, which is true to its own values. This is when you see this is how your politicians behave, how your boss at work behaves, how you also behave in some ways. You see, belief is a kind of blindness. From the point of view of Dharma, believing is a poor substitute for seeing. When I see, it means the light of the world comes into my eyes, the sound of the world comes into my ears, and I receive a reasonable sense of how things are. Whereas without any attention to what is out there, I can believe, when I'm wrapped inside myself, that the world is as I believe it to be. Some people believe that climate change is very dangerous, other people don't. Some people believe that getting the vaccine against COVID was a wonderful medical breakthrough, and other people saw it as a way to put more poison in the body. So I can believe that a red car is better than a blue car. But when I see red car is not different from emptiness, emptiness is not different from red car, and the blue car is not different from emptiness, emptiness is not different from a blue car, then these cars are equal in their emptiness of inherent existence. And the qualities that I perceive in the car are the qualities I impute to the car. So emptiness is the corrective to the delusion that objects have a real separate existence, and that I also have a real separate existence. We are a few people gathered together to look at this issue. Each of you has a body or inhabits a body. You have a voice. You have a mind. The body is always moving, breathing in and out. Even if somebody is lying in bed very peacefully, the blood continues to run through their body. There is a huge amount of activity in the brain, in the heart, in the liver. The body, even when it looks still, is movement. Our voice is movement. The air coming up through the windpipe is altered by this tension in the voice box. And this gives our particular tone of voice so that we can recognize someone's voice without seeing them. What we recognize is patterns of sound arising and dissolving. And our mind presents itself to us as a stream of memories, plans, concepts, emotions. I am the flow of experience. You experience me according to your pattern of interpretation. I experience me according to my patterns of interpretation. And of course, how I am for myself or what I am for myself depends on the interaction of many factors. I am not a thing. This is something we have to investigate again and again and again. We are very used to the idea of being things. So when I was young and playing with children from England, for example, I was from Scotland, and children would say, "Oh, you're Scottish, you're mean." Because that's a prejudicial view about Scottish people. I would feel very angry. You say Scottish people are mean and selfish. I am a Scottish person. I am not mean and selfish. You are a liar. So I was defending something, the honor of my nation, a somewhat wet, cold country. It's so easy to be pulled into defending something which you wouldn't want to defend. But they said that about me, and that's wrong. So then you can fight and fight and fight, and everywhere in the world we see people fighting to resist being defined by someone else. But I am not a thing. James is not other than emptiness. Emptiness is not other than James. James in samsara is not lacking emptiness. Happy James has not more emptiness than sad James. At all times, in all situations, emptiness is the actuality, the truth of how James is. I can be happy, sad, anxious, despairing. Now, you might think, oh, James is not having much benefit from Dharma. Now we hear him saying he is anxious and depressed. He's probably confused as well. He should look at the Buddha. The Buddha sitting there, never moving, not filled with any of this turbulence. But if you want to cook something tasty, you need at least salt and pepper. And you could have some chili and herbs, basil, rosemary, thyme. So many flavors, how delicious. So sometimes we cook James with anxiety. Tasty. Because usually we have depressed James who's worried about problems and so on. There's a sinking feeling. But now he's anxious. This is a vibrating feeling. Why can't James just be James? Because James is not a thing. James is a participant in the moving field of experience. I am touched by events. I feel happy, I feel sad. Many different flavors. I am a site of diversity. How I am is arising due to the situation, or not due to, but is arising with the potential of the situation. This allows me to respond to different situations in different ways. I am a potential which can manifest happy, sad, energetic, exhausted, and so on. If I look for the source of this potential, I can't find any isolate, any individual little Jamesness inside me. There is an ungraspable essence or heart to James. There is no entity there, no thing. James is empty of thingness. And the potential which can show the different forms of James, his memories, thoughts, plans, and so on, these are arising and vanishing and have no essence of their own. And so when I manifest into the world, when I'm going to be with other people, I'm influenced by the weather, cold, hot, wet, dry. I'm influenced by whether the things other people talk about interest me or not. Due to the pattern of circumstances, I manifest with the patterns of my potential. So if somebody says, James, I like you, who do they like? They are telling me about them, not about me. The James that they like is James for them. That's not necessarily James for me. Your James and my James are not the same. And your James will change with circumstances. And my James changes with other circumstances. So James is a mode of participation, an energy of participation. So if somebody says, I don't like you, James, you're always talking nonsense, shut up. I can protect myself, or I can see I don't need to protect myself. What is this self that I should protect? I feel upset because you said that about me, but you cannot see me. And even I cannot see me because there is no essential entity of James inside. What you can see is this moment of the theater of James. This theater is always showing the same play, the Jamesing of James. Always the same because it's James, always different because James is always changing. So when people are nice to us and they like us, or they're cruel to us or insult us, when we get hurt, it's because of our own foolishness. We take their words to be something about us. And so we want to say, I'm not really like that, but what am I like? It depends. I can't be defined by me, and I can't be defined by you. All that we can define is that the name James can be put at this old man. What saying James points to, we don't know. Because James is empty of Jamesness. The potential of James to be many different Jameses is not other than the emptiness of James. If I had a fixed, real identity, my capacity for being in the world with others would be very limited. It is because there is no fixed James that I can enjoy the richness of all the possibilities of being James, including being sick, being tired, having cancer, and so on. Because every stage of having cancer was dynamic. I had go to the hospital, I had blood tests, put this needle in my arm, take some blood into the syringe, and take that to the laboratory. I had the biopsy, so they had to lie down, and many different small needles went into my prostate to take samples for the laboratory. So I can say, this happened to me. And that formulation of the events gives it a kind of solidity. But what it's actually describing is moments of interaction. This, and then this, and then this, and then this. Some things are painful, some things are pleasurable. Observing again and again in the course of one day how many different aspects of this potential arise, and none of it could be distilled into a true essence. I am an energy of participation and not a thing. You are an energy of participation and not a thing, as are all the birds, all the fish, all the animals. The animal arises according to the situation. How the animals are treated depends on what people like. Due to causes and conditions, different definitions are applied. So if my true nature is emptiness, what will improve this emptiness? Emptiness is my freedom from being imprisoned in a narrow definition of myself. When Tibet was invaded, many monks couldn't escape to India, and so they were caught and put in prison and treated very harshly. And at that time, it was there was a lot of denunciation in the Chinese legal system and government system, telling the people, you are bad, you are an enemy of the people, you need to be punished, you don't recognize your sins. Who were they talking to? A monk. If the monk were good meditators, they are familiar with the practice, all sound is sound and emptiness. You stupid Tibetans, you monk, you eat the food of the workers, you are a useless, empty mouth living off the people. Oh, if the person's meditation was not very good, they would think, I'm not like that. I'm a monk. I'm a good person. But if we have meditation, then we hear all sound is mantra. And so this person attacking me is shouting mantras at me. But if we can hear the sound as sound inseparable from emptiness, we it has no power to catch us. It would be like being bitten by a tiger with no teeth. The teeth are put into the mouth of the tiger by our own dualistic belief. So whether we are happy or sad, healthy or sick, in all situations, to live in the presence of the view of non-duality is our great protection and support. I manifest, I come into the particular formation of myself moment by moment with the environment. So if you like, the potential of the situation and the potential of my Jamesness, all the different factors of James, these two things come together like a couple having sex. And this gives rise to the instant baby of how I am in the next moment. That is to say, the pattern of me as I am in this moment arises from the meeting of the potential of the situation and the potential of how I am with it. And it's not that self and other are two different things, but nor are they the same. It's like two people dancing. They are both wanting to dance. They're going to dance in a way that has some choreography. Let's say they're doing a tango. That will be affected by whether you like the tune, whether you're fresh or tired, but you are both going to dance. You will have more or less harmony as you dance, but you're still in it together. The other doesn't vanish, but it can have harmonious vibration, syncopation, or not. me with you, with, together. In the Tibetan language, they have a lot of terms for this, including Senchi Chepa, born together or arising together. So it's not that I am here and then I say something, but I am with you, even though I can't see all your faces because I'm focusing on the big screen. We are in this together. This is co-emergence. That is to say, my talking and the translators translating and the other people listening, this is three streams flowing together. This is a really essential point which illuminates the practices of Tantra and Mahamudra and Dzogchen. It's not that we have to bring subject and object together, because they are already together. Co-emergence is the nature of the field. So our main practice is to relax into the openness of the field, and then we see how what we take to be subject, I, me, myself, and what we take to be object, you, actually arise together from the same empty ground. And to see this, we do the Guru Yoga of the White Hour or the short practice of Padmasambhava. And then in every situation, we see together, together, together. We look out the window, we see the tree blowing in the wind. I am looking at the object. Oh, it's not about me, it's about the tree. But it's about the tree that I see. So I take off my reading glasses in order to see the tree more clearly. And I put on my glasses to see your faces more clearly. I see you means my focus is on you, but I see you. I see you is together, subject and object, born together. My seeing and the revelation of your face for me arise together. Not one thing looking at another. So again and again, we return to the source. From the source arises the potential for manifestation. And then when we end our little meeting here together, we'll get up and go about our lives. And you will always be somewhere. You have your body in its seating formation. And when you stand up, you have a different access to your embodiment. And if you go out, if you're going upstairs, that's one set of movements. If you're going downstairs, that's another set of movements. I am already in the world with others. This is the basis of the Nirmanakaya. If I see the withness, then this is the illusory manifestation. So these are the basic things I wanted to remind you of today. I think there will be many more provocations which can be very annoying to us or give us a false kind of hope. So we have to observe the flow of our experience and see that it is intrinsically non-dual with emptiness. And yet, if we get caught up in dualistic consciousness and naming and defining, it is as if we exist as a real isolate, a separated formation. So, due to the exhaustion I experienced, I haven't done much work on Zoom talks. I'm doing what I can in terms of getting exercise and so on, so that I can offer you more movement in the world of Dharma. But it always depends. It's not something one can just definitely decide on. It depends. I am not omnipotent. I'm not in charge of everything. But neither am I a slave or somebody locked up inside. We work with circumstances, being as close to the unique specificity of each moment. So I wish you well with your Dharma practice, and I hope that we'll be able to meet together sometime. But even if that is not possible, we are always connected in the pure source. In the openness of emptiness, we are always together. This is our fundamental truth. Therefore, we should enjoy this and nurture this and not go under the power of defining other people as other. May all beings be happy. All. That's enough. So now we come to our end. I would like to thank the translators. Some people are living in countries where access to the internet and so on is freely available. For other people, it's more difficult. As a Sangha, I'm very impressed by how warm and friendly people are in their participation. Everyone has something to give. It's very important not to project lots of things onto me. We all have body, voice, and mind. We all know some Dharma. Even a very basic idea like impermanence is enormously important in times like these. So may you be happy, may you be well, and we'll see how life unfolds. So, dear beings, may we find more time to be together, and I wish you all the best. Bye for now.
Bye. Thank you, James.
Bye.
Bye.
Thank you, James. Thank you. Everything.
Bye.
Bye, everyone.
Bye.
Lots of love.
Pedro, Milton,
Love you. Love you all.
Obrigada.
Gracias.
Bye.
Bye.
Obrigada, thank you.
Bye bye.